Tai Lopez is arguably the most iconic scammer in YouTube history. He's the mastermind behind the classic, "here in my garage, just bought this Lamborghini" clip. Throughout the years, no name has commanded less respect than Tai Lopez. He is just a clown people shoot spitballs at. He is just like the communal piñata that people used to love to take shots at, like a little punching bag. And it was always good fun because he's a piece of shit. He is literally a scammer. And not many people know this, but he's actually still around. This cockroach has persisted and he still posts videos and still tries to sell courses and seminars. So I wanted to take a look at one of his more recent ones, a tour of his $100 million mansion. Except it's not his mansion, he's leasing it. And he's not trying to hide that fact either. He wears it proudly on his sleeve and spends 17 minutes coping trying to convince his audience that leasing a $100 million property is actually a galaxy brain, giga chad financial decision, and tries to convince them that leasing is better than buying in a lot of cases. It is unbelievable delusion.
So let me give you the reasons why I just leased this $100 million house in Beverly Hills. Why would I lease this for a year? Is that crazy?
It's beyond crazy. It's plain brain dead. This is plus ultra moron shit here. Leasing a $100 million property, and trying to posture it as a good thing and a smart financial decision, that is baffling. Now, I know Tai Lopez is just a complete fake person. Like, he even moves around like an NPC out of GTA, like some kind of character you'd find on the street that's like falling over or getting bullied by someone. But like this, it's become his whole persona. You know, I'm oiled up in my garage, rubbing my wiener on my Lamborghini, you know, that kind of thing, like flexing these wealthy things. But this is so unbelievable to me, where he's trying to position a lease on a $100 million property as a good thing.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what Felix Dennis, he had the 3 F's rule. If it flies, floats, or lease it, don't buy it.
A mansion does none of those things, except fuck you in the face. Like, I understand that this is all for show. I think there's a very real chance he's not even leasing this property, and I'll get into that in a moment. As he's doing the walkthrough, this place is more barren and empty than my fucking 16th birthday party. Like, I don't think he even leased it. I think he asked the realtor if he can just film a video in there so he could promote his seminars. The only reason he's at this property and making this video is to try and push gullible fools into purchasing his courses and attending his seminars and that kind of fucking nonsense, just to keep exploiting people.
But that's not the real reason. I'm gonna give you the reasons why I would do something crazy, because we live in a world, it's like if you lease a Lamborghini, people think, oh, this person's dumb, or they're trying to pretend, or if they lease a house, you know, this isn't an Airbnb, this is a long-term lease. People are like, oh, and I'm going, no, use your brain. They don't teach us in school financial literacy.
It's not financial literacy, it's substantial idiocy. If you used your brain for even a second, just had one neuron activation moment, you would recognize how stupid this whole thing is.
I buy farmland. I own farms. This is number one. There are things you should buy and things you should lease.
Tai loves to go on and on about the farms that he owns, and I'm confident he's never stepped foot on them for even a second past the initial handshake of purchasing it. If that's even a true story, it's impossible to know with Tai Lopez, but if he did own farms, you bet your sweet bippy he'd say, ew, yucky, smelly animals, and run away. To tie it all back to Tai's 10 commandments here of leasing, I'm going to go ahead and poke some holes into that theory here. There are things you should buy, and there are things you should lease in some cases. You know what one thing you should never lease is? A $100 million mansion, no matter how well off you are. I don't even understand this from a conceptual standpoint, because this just looks pathetic. It looks weak. And I feel even the most brainwashed of suckers would see that too. Like, let's say I'm someone susceptible to Tai Lopez's manipulation. And I'm like, Tai Lopez, he's got all the secrets to wealth. If I follow him, I'll be a multimillionaire too. And then I watch this video, I would look at Tai Lopez like a little fucking vermin for it. Because this is him paying a richer man to film content in that house. This isn't his house. He's very open about leasing this. He is paying someone more wealthy and more successful than him to ask him if he can kind of stay there while filming YouTube videos. Like, that's not a financial guru, that's a bitch.
What I also like about this house, and reason number 2, is a lease for tax purposes and deductions. If you've got a big wing of business like I do, you get better tax deductions on a lease versus a purchase. I use this little thing to separate. Actually, let's go this way first.
I love that he has the business wing sectioned off here. Why? What's happening over there? Is that where the owner is and he's fucking your girlfriend, Tai? Like, I don't understand. Who in their own home would be, like, quarantining the business wing? That'd be like me setting up an obstacle course to get into my office here. That's where I do the high-level stuff, so naturally I've got it blockaded.
Yeah, it's a sitting room, but I'm gonna put in grand piano. I like to play the piano.
You runny-nosed little worm, why are you lying to me? I know you're not putting a grand piano in there.
Number 3 is flexibility. Next reason is charity.
Yes, charity. Nothing says helping the community quite like living in a $100 million mansion that you're leasing. He's doing it for the people at the end of the day. He's not selfish. He's leasing this property because he's uplifting those around him, helping everyone that he can through this. And he stays flexible, of course. He's not married to this home. If he wants to, he can go get a $200 million lease on my fucking butthole. Like, he's got so many options.
Never just live for yourself. I call it the 50-50 rule. You should spend 50% of your life living for yourself and your family and people who depend on you, but 50% live for the good of others. So this house is amazing. I already did a big event, a charity pool party. You know, this backyard will hold 800 people, and I sold tables, and all the profit from the little tables in the back went to charity. So you can do good with a big house.
Might actually be one of the weakest arguments I've ever heard for why some narcissistic loser would lease a $100 million property. Well, actually, there's so much good you can do with a big house like this. I threw a pool party and I sold tables. I don't know what that means, full disclosure. I don't know what that... You sold tables? Is that like code for baby oil? Is this like a freak off or something? Like, I don't know what he's saying with that, but whatever. I sold tables and I gave money to charity. Okay, you could also just give the money to charity without leasing a $100 million home. Like, that home didn't help you do any of that. It doesn't make any sense what you're trying to say here. I also love how he tries to get really philosophical, like he's a man's man, you gotta live for yourself sometimes, but then live for others, like your family. Speaking of family, Tai, where's your wife and kids? You're pushing 50 and you still don't have a family, man. You're still on this stupid fucking grind set mentality, trying to scam people through dog shit YouTube videos and seminars like this.
Next reason to lease versus buy is maintenance responsibility. You know how expensive this house is to maintain? So I love the fact that it's like you're not responsible really for the maintenance if you negotiate your lease right.
Another great reason to lease versus buy is I'm too fucking lazy to do any of it myself, so I'll put that responsibility on the person that I'm leasing from. Yeah. Cool flex, Tai. I can't be bothered to do anything except sit here and make YouTube shorts promoting nonsense to fools. So I'll let someone else take care of like the actual stuff.
Pool, I like swimming is underrated, man. Jogging's hard on the joints. Swimming, there's a certain magic. You look at those people like the Maoris, like The Rock, people from the South Pacific are in some of the best shape historically, the people who swam a lot. So I love swimming. I don't know why we still have all the ropes up, but I like to do my workouts outside when I can.
What the fuck are you yapping about, man? What? Just say you like to swim. I don't know why he's going into this whole spiel about it. I don't think he swims, for what it's worth. I just don't believe anything that ever comes out of Tai Lopez's mouth, to be honest with you. I bet he hasn't even dipped his toes into that pool, because it might be a little too chilly or something. But, I don't even understand why he's even going on about this. And then he says, I like to do my workouts outside, and there's 5 dumbbells there that go up to maybe 20 pounds. Getting a real big pump out there, huh, Ty? He is making this shit up on the spot. Like I said, I don't think he actually even leases this place. I think a realtor just granted him permission to come through while it was being cleaned for a serious buyer. Because he's just walking through, like, pointing at shit and going on these completely nonsensical tangents. Yeah, I like to do my workouts outside, which is why all those heavy dumbbells are over there. A lot of ropes around here from last night's hootenanny. Yeah, we had a big shindig last night. I don't know why the ropes are still up.
Another reason, it's a great opportunity to test a place. So if you negotiate a lease correctly, you can a lot of times put that you have first option to buy. So it's a great way. This is the guest house here in the pool. I got friends that stay here. My mom, when she comes to visit, she likes to stay close but be a little bit separate. So she stays here in the pool house.
Yeah, you get to guinea pig the house for a little bit, do a bit of beta testing. Yeah, there's a pool house. I kind of confine my mom to these quarters when she's around here. She loves to come over, and I have so many friends. You guys know how many friends I have. I have lots and lots of friends, and sometimes they'll stay here too when my mom's not, taking up the joint. You know what I mean? So yeah. Also, like, he's just going around making up stories for shit. He is just spitballing lore for things that he sees, like a game of I Spy.
This is where we had the tables for the charity thing. It was pretty cool. We had the DJ over there. So this room, I'm turning, Anton's here, CEO here. He's getting some work done, but this is becoming the game room.
Is Anton even alive over there? It looks like he's out cold. You should be going over there to check for a pulse, brother. Man looks like he overdosed on chill pills. I also just don't even think Tai Lopez knows who that is. His name's probably not even Anton. He probably just pulled that out of his ass. Maybe he is the CEO of something. I don't have a clue, but to me, it just really feels like there's some random people in this house and Tai Lopez is scrambling to try and explain why they're there. Like, oh, hey, it's Jericho, hey, up top. Yeah. Good game last night. Yeah, Jericho was at the charity function last night. He donated $5 million to the charity we were partying for, and then I think he ended up having like a threesome or something. But anyway, it's great to see you. Great to see you. Yeah. Oh, yep. Nope. Another charity event next week. That's right. Can't wait. Anyway, this is gonna be the game room. Gonna be a lot of games in this room.
Super Bowl, you can open this to outside. You got your own bar here, which is kind of cool. But now I want to go back to one of the points of leasing versus buying.
I wish Anton had just shot up after hearing that. Like, what the fuck? Benefits of leasing versus buying? Are you out of your mind? Are you off your gourd? Also can't help but just appreciate that Tai Lopez talks about like the bar over there and then like slowly walks over there, fee-fi-fo-fums, just to spank it for no reason, just to slap it.
A reason that I like to do a $100 million huge house is it's easier to clearly delineate what's personal and what's business. I section it off.
What the hell is even that? One of the biggest benefits to a big house in Tai Lopez's eyes is his ability to effectively section off what's business and what's personal. Do you not have object permanence? Are you 5 years old? Man thinks if he's not in his office, it just disappears. So he has to set up these blockers to remind him, like, office on that side, that's where business is. You can't just be an adult and know that your office is where your business shit is. Everything else is your personal shit. Like, what? How dumb are you?
Change your life right here. I'm loading all my books in. I have other homes, so I'm trying to decide, do I want to buy all new books because this place got such a good library, or do I want to ship books? I have more books in boxes on one of my farms. Okay, here, as I said, one of the advantages of leasing versus buying is the business element of it. Here, this house has a ballroom. I have a lot of my C-suite, not all my employees, but I have like the leaders come.
I fail to see how that's an advantage of leasing versus buying, because you could still get that same effect through buying. If you own the house, you could still have them in that same ballroom, like your little fucking personal sweatshop here. Like, it's not like leasing helped you do that better or gave you the ability to do that, whereas buying wouldn't.
Rick Field here, one of the chief branding officers, the world's largest monitor. But yeah, this is a cool place. It's got very finely crafted kind of all of this work that they did is pretty incredible.
One thing I find very interesting is Tai Lopez walks around this house like a fucking ghost. Everyone around him treats him as if he's invisible. So he's like directly talking about Rick Field, who's in earshot. Like, he is right next to him. Ty's breathing down the shoulder. Rick doesn't even give him the time of day, doesn't look at him. Anton, another example, never even acknowledges Tai Lopez's presence, doesn't even look up at him. Neither does anyone in that room. I don't think they know Tai. I really don't.
Very important. Heidi keeps a lot of my books. Here, tú puedes poner esto on me. The books I read, I stick in my office, so I put them all here. Esto no. I read this one. I like to go to sleep by reading 3 or 4 books. If you ain't sleeping well, don't be scrolling on your phone. Read.
Turns out Tai actually had some surprise books upstairs that he hadn't fully loaded into his shelves down there. So the books on the shelves, those are the ones that he reads. The ones upstairs, that's a totally different set of books. So he starts fishing through there. This book, and this book, and this book, and then just hands it to Heidi. And then he says he reads 3 to 4 books before going to bed. Impossible? You don't do that? I know you don't. What do you mean you read 3 to 4 books? Like maybe picture books or something where you flip through Green Eggs and Ham, perhaps, but you're not reading full books every night before bed. No shot. That's not happening.
I haven't Philly even, I don't spend all my time here. California is not my main home, is somewhere else. And I also live in Europe part-time. So another reason to lease, why leased versus purchase, is I like to have multiple homes. And I feel like when you own something, you see it as your nest egg and you literally don't travel as much. I know that's psychological, but it's true.
I just cannot believe that he's saying these things on camera to his audience, because it is so clear to anybody watching this how full of shit this man is. So you're telling me you lease tons of homes apparently and live a lot of different places. You're leasing a $100 million home despite not really spending that much time here. Why? Why lease a $100 million home then? You are actually just flushing money down the shitter. The reason you'd buy multiple homes if you've reached like an absurd level of wealth is you're building equity. Like you're building things. Like you are able to make money off those investments long term. Here, you are actually just burning money. So you're bad with money is what you're admitting to here, Tai. I cannot believe that he's not able to process that.
I've got a big party coming up. By the way, I'm doing these mansion seminars in the ballroom and I do these charity parties. So I'll put a link in the description if you want to see the calendar of the upcoming stuff.
Gorsh. Absolutely, Tai. Sign me up. Parties, mansion seminars, and a leased $100 million property. I can't wait to be taught by the master.
This place, they used to use it for like big charity events. Brad Pitt had an event here. It's pretty cool. But, you know, a lot of times if you do it right, another thing I like is you can lease homes that will never come up for sale. It's kind of cool because sometimes people don't want to sell the whole home. So for me, life is about adventure. I'm not number one, my core drive is not material things. So like I said, I like to buy farmland. Farmland's been the best risk-adjusted return. You know, I'd rather own farms that have a productive use than just homes or mansions.
Ty's serving up a full course of the Yappy meal here on the world's slowest elevator. Why does it take so long to go 2 floors? This elevator sucks. Is there just like a couple people with like a rope slowly letting it down as Ty gets in it? How is it that slow? Jesus. And anyway, whatever he's talking about in there is fucking stupid in the first place, saying how his number one motivator is not material things. Meanwhile, his whole persona is material things and presenting material things, flexing material things, and convincing his audience that they should and can get those material things through following him. You're just so full of barnacles, Ty, it's crazy.
I don't know where we are. That goes back up. And this is you could fit up to 20 cars in the garage, but my friend's staying here and just one little Lambo. I'm trying to decide if I want to get a Phantom Rolls Royce with the driver.
That's so badass, Ty. He can't decide if he wants the Phantom or the Rolls Royce with the driver. He just has so many complex decisions. I say, why not both? You got plenty of dough lying around, right? Look at you, Ty. Just get both. You've earned it, man. You've earned it. I also love it. He's like, yeah, I don't really know where we are. Of course you don't. Of course you don't know where you are, Ty, because I don't think you actually lease this place. You just come in here because you know the realtor and he'd let you come in here and just take a fucking tour through it while presenting as if it's yours so you could sell some fools on your fucking courses to make money off of them.
But I use this a lot. It's got a really good sound system, beautiful chairs. I had the first night I moved in, like 5 friends, and we all, what do we watch? The Bourne Experiment, and it was like everybody fell asleep in the chairs. Everybody's snoring. Guys' night, everybody's sitting there snoring.
No, they didn't. You made that up. Of all the things that have never happened, that's definitely one of them. Well, like, you couldn't even think of an accurate Bourne title. There is no Bourne Experiment, goober. Like, he's just making shit up. And the amount of times he references his friends truly convinces me that he has no one in his life that's close to him. Nobody at all. Yeah, so I had, like, my friends, you know, they were here. We watched a movie. And then everyone fell asleep. They were, like, snoring and shit. And then, you know, my friends, they came up to me and said, "Thank you so much, Ty, for letting us stay here. You're such a good guy. And thank you, Ty, for making us millions of dollars." And then everyone clapped.
The next reason to buy is adventure. I'm an adventure guy. People always ask me, "Ty, why are you still doing business?" You know, I could have retired and had enough recurring revenue probably in like 2007 or 8. You know, why didn't I? I like adventure.
Of course. No, absolutely, Ty. He's just a real adventurous soul. And he doesn't like to be tied down by like a family or anything. He likes to do it alone. He prefers to be alone. It's his choice.
Don't be afraid to lease. As I told you at the beginning, what Felix Dennis said about the 3 Fs. So don't listen. People are financially illiterate. They're like, "Oh, if you didn't buy it, that's something wrong." Do the cost benefit analysis. Sometimes it makes sense to buy. Sometimes it makes sense to lease. If you know you want to be there for a long time, like farms for me.
Not a single convincing argument in favor of leasing over buying presented throughout this entire video. Because, bare necessities. The core is that it's stupid to lease a $100 million mansion under any circumstances. It's a terrible idea. And he's trying so hard to spin it as like an alpha, gigabrained financial guru maneuver. It's not, Ty. It's not. He then goes on to promote his seminars once more to try and get people through the door with their wallets out and piggy banks emptied. So just classic Tai Lopez shit, really. I wanted to make fun of it. That's about it. See ya.